first adventure into books for the new airplane, and I've got a passenger. So not only is this her first time flying into Citabria, it is my first time flying a passenger in the new plane, which no big deal, right? But she was wanting to go over to Statesboro to pick up some stuff. I was wanting to fly, so we're going to marry the two agendas together, and I'm going to fly her to Statesboro, maybe grab lunch. The problem I run into is I told her that this thing could haul luggage. So now we're going to Target. Maybe.
No, there ain't a Target in Statesboro.
Oh.
TJ Maxx.
Starts with a T, same thing. So now I got to try to eat my words and say, hey, I was just kidding. It actually doesn't hold as much baggage as what I thought it did.
Just put it under your feet then.
I'll do a run up real quick. All right, baby doll.
Ready, Freddy?
That's shut. Windows is shut. Both mags are on. Right there, traffic 99 Sierra Alpha. Departing runway 14 in the grass. Right there. All right, heels off the brakes. Oh yeah, that was too easy.
Did you know the plexiglass back here is broke?
Yeah, that's where the guy that had it was flying in Alaska and killed a moose and stuck a moose in here, and the hoof on the moose went through the window.
How about that? That's a cool story.
Yeah. The guy that owned it before, Tony, he didn't even have the back seat in it. He flew by himself and he just hauled stuff.
Oh.
All right, babe, so a couple of the things that I like about the airplane is, number one is, if you were in my seat looking out the front, you can see forever. Like, I've got this glass all the way wrap around, it goes all the way up high, the dash is down low, so I got this huge sight picture in front of me that I really like. Plus, in the Avid, I can see out my left door, but I couldn't see out the right because there was a passenger seat. So since this one is tandem seated, now I can see my right tire and I can see my left tire, and I like that. Because sometimes when I land on a sandbar and think that I hit a stick or something with my right tire, I couldn't lean over and see it in the Avid. Now, I can visually look at them and inspect them. Plus, I just got the visibility now. Remember, used to, if I wanted to see something out the right, I would have to dip the wing to the right to see it. Now I can just look out the window. And then the biggest thing I like is the comfort. Like, my legs are just as extended as if it would be if I was in a car. I got plenty of shoulder room. I can just relax and ride. Like, I could fly a long distance in this thing.
You like it?
Yeah. What's the back seat like? Bless you.
Thank you. You asked me a question?
I mean, how's it like? How is the view in the back?
It's very good. I can see, literally, if I turn around, I can see all the way, like, behind us.
Yeah, you got plenty of windows in the back. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I didn't think about that.
I have plenty of, I don't never with leg room, but if I did, I have plenty of leg room. I didn't know if I was going to, like, sit behind you, but it's not bad at all.
Now, if I'm like, my back starts itching, I can be like, hey, honey, scratch my back.
Oh, my gosh.
And then you can scratch my back. Or if I said, ooh, I'm getting tired of flying, you could reach up here and massage my shoulders. You could reach up here and massage my shoulders.
I can't hear you.
I said... Loser. I legit thought you could.
I do like the fact that I can love on you, though.
Oh, okay.
On our way to Statesboro, we were going to have to fly right over the Meta Airport. So I started looking in ForeFlight to pull up their frequency, and when I looked at my radio to type it in, I noticed that it was off, or I thought it was off. Very first thing I did was look back to make sure that the switch had not somehow been flipped off. I checked the breaker, and then I started power cycling the radio.
Well,
How long do we have? What's our arrival?
Plus, I could also start to hear that it sounded like our audio was starting to get worse.
it says 20 minutes, but I've lost my radio.
And finally, I looked down at the amp meter on the panel and it was showing dead zero. And I realized I was not getting any amps from the alternator. That automatically kind of freaked Arica out.
Are we gonna be able to land?
Well, in Videa we can.
I explained to her that the engine would stay running, we just would probably lose radios. She opted for us to turn around and go back to Videa, and I was definitely not against that.
Yeah, I'm not getting any amps off my battery, so I think that's what it is.
Oh Lord, honey, let's turn around.
I mean, the engine still works, but...
Let's turn around.
So I text Hughes back at the airport and told him we were coming back in for landing and to just call me if anybody entered the pattern. As you can tell, we're back at the airport. It did not quite go as planned. I got to noticing the more we flew that the worse the audio got. And then my brain thought to itself, it's similar to my old intercom when the battery was going dead, the portable battery. And I was like, well, we're getting close to Meta, we're gonna fly over Meta, so maybe I better type in their frequency and monitor it while we're flying over it. And I looked at my radio and I was like, I lost my radio. And initially I thought, dang, there ain't no way the radio's going out. I was just bragging on having a real radio. And then I started putting all the puzzle pieces together that my audio was sounding bad. I lost my screen on my radio. I looked down and I was showing no amps on the battery and I thought, darn. So it's either I gotta check and see if it's the battery that has it just needs a new battery, or if it in fact is the alternator that is not charging. So here we go. Also different about the Citabria versus the Avid is obviously the Avid was wee little, right? So I could just pick the tail up, shove it where I wanted to go. This one, not so much. I have got to get something to make it a little bit easier for putting this thing in the hangar. I wear a pizza. So when you mess up your flight with your wife, you at least got to take her to pizza. What kind of lunch specials they got? You know, I'm pretty fortunate to have a spouse that goes along with my aviation adventures and goes with the flow and understands that really and truly you can't expect and plan for everything in a flight, especially in a new to you airplane. I ordered a small calzone because I didn't want it to be too much, but it kind of backfired on me. Well, after we finished up with our pizza, I called Daniel over at Fountain Aviation and he met me immediately at the hangar and we started troubleshooting it. This is dedicated maintenance guy right here.
Yes, sir, it's hot down there.
Yeah. Now, we did the best we could with the tools I had at my hangar. We felt confident it was not the alternator that was the problem. And after Daniel got on the phone with the manufacturer, we kind of dialed it down that we both suspected that the alternator control unit or the regulator had gone bad. The next morning, Daryl let me borrow the old Kit Fox Model 5 that you've seen us fly some. There's the ride for the day. Time to fire this baby up and get back. And luckily we have the East Coast store for aircraft spruces here in Georgia. So I flew up to Aircraft Spruce, picked up the part, and come back home. Now this airplane is new to me, but I can tell you I'm already enjoying all the new changes and features to it. But stick around for part 2 to figure out if we properly troubleshot it and this regulator fixes our problem. I'll see you on the next one.